welcome to Be Your Own Guru. I'm Elisa Di Napoli. Now today I want to talk a bit about how to live a high performance life, how to be a high achiever and be really happy while doing that. Now the first thing I'd like to share with you is focus on your strengths. Focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. Now, this sometimes can seem counterintuitive because we have been conditioned, programmed by our education to focus on what we're not good at. Maybe we've been told by our teacher, our parents, you're bad at this. And we think that by focusing on what we're not good at, it's the only way to improve. But actually, that is a waste of time. This doesn't mean that that you shouldn't think about improving, but it's not about having to, it's about choosing to. And also it's about effective time management. If I am a consultant, for example, and I'm really good at my job with people, but I'm really bad on maths, there's no point in focusing on trying to figure out how the accounts work in my company. I'll just give it to an accountant, someone who's good at their job, and I will spend that time doing what I am good at. The second tip is don't listen to people who have failed at what you want to do. You wouldn't ask someone who has never been able to hold on a job to give you advice on getting a job, would you? You wouldn't ask someone who is stuck in a really bad marriage where they're unhappy to give you relationship advice, would you? The people who have given up on their dreams, telling you, just be happy with what you've got, they probably wouldn't want you to succeed because that would be a reflection on them of what they haven't done. So I would say, surround yourself by people that are positive and encouraging, and also listen to people who have succeeded in their field. Whatever it is that you want to achieve, listen to them. The third tip is about focusing on solutions, not problems. Now, a lot of us focus on problems. And when we do that, what do we get? More of the problem. Now, this can be as simple as, having an argument with your spouse or with your friend. And then rather than ask yourself, why did it happen? And, is it me? Is it you? Is there something wrong with me? Is this going to happen again? Are we incompatible? All this what if scenario, these why questions, they are not going to help you. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What can I do differently next time? What do I want? Focus on the outcome. Focus on what you've learned from the past and then move on. Where am I going? Focus on the destination. And if you've got that destination in mind really clear, it will be easier to get there. Be the observer of your own thoughts. Now, this is really crucial. Don't think that your thoughts are yourself. I'm going to keep on saying this because really it is very important. Don't identify with your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Are you confusing a thought with a fact? Have your thoughts ever lied to you? Were you convinced at some point in your life that something was one way only to find out that you were wrong? Your thoughts are just thoughts. They're just that. They're not fact. And there's a lot of cognitive distortions that go along with believing your own thoughts to be true at all times. There's a lot of cognitive distortions to look out for, and I'm going to go through that in another video. When I have specifically a very negative thought, is to ask myself, is this helpful? And what would be a more helpful thing for me to think and focus my attention on? What would be more helpful for me to focus my attention on? Another tip would be for those of you who are wanting to sell a product to somebody or a service to somebody. We don't want to be the slimy salesman, pushing the product to someone who doesn't want it. No one wants to do that, right? But what if you instead were focusing on the needs of the people that you're selling whatever product or services to? People want to feel understood and they want to feel cared for. For example, if you were a estate agent, you wouldn't want to sell a one-bedroom flat to a family of 5. That wouldn't make any sense, right? So you would want to ask your client, what are you after? What are your needs? And then really try to over-deliver and give them what they need. And when you give them that product, that service, they will want to buy it from you because that's what they need, right? So it's a win-win situation. And there's no guilt to be had for wanting to sell that to them. Okay, tip number 6. Is your story an empowering one or a disempowering one? Take the worst case scenario. Maybe you've had really bad luck in your life. Maybe you've even been abused. Okay, no one wants to be abused. There's a difference on how you react to it. What is it that you say to yourself about this thing that has happened to you that you couldn't do anything about, perhaps? It's not your fault, of course. You could see yourself as a victim. And then, how would that help you? Would that empower you for your future life? Or would that make you feel even worse? How could you change that into a story of empowerment? Well, one way I find useful is to say to myself, well, I'm a survivor, Yes, all these bad things have happened to me, but I have already survived them. And they've made me an even stronger person. I'm not denying the suffering, but I'm going beyond it. As you change the story, what you say to yourself, you make it possible for you to create a better life no matter what has happened to you in the past. When you move from a victim position to someone who thinks, I can create something better. Now, of course, this can be difficult sometimes to do on your own. So you might need someone to help you, whether it's a therapist or a coach. That can really help you to be held accountable when you want to change your life and keep on track. Because it is easy to lose track sometimes, and it's helpful to have someone to help you out and get back on track. Okay, tip number 7, model high achievers. Model people that have already made it, people who are successful. Now, success is different from everyone. In my case, success means having time to be artistic and creative. I wouldn't want to be a millionaire because I don't really care about that kind of thing, but I do care about having time to be creative. So I look at people who are already doing that, people who can do that with their lives. What are they doing? Tip number 8, where are you now? You've got to know where you are if you want to move on somewhere else. You've got to be honest with yourself. Where am I at right now? What is the truth of my situation right now? I sometimes see people who are smiling outside, but inside they're crying. They're saying the most horrific things, but their face is smiling. So they are hiding. They are lying to themselves. They don't want the world to see how they really feel because they don't want to see it themselves. So facing who you are right now, where you are right now, how you're feeling right now is the first step to move forward. If you waste all of your time trying to hide it, you won't have any energy to go anywhere else. So the first step is to really face where you are. No matter how dire it may seem or scary, face your fears, because as you do, you will be able to move forward. I'll give you an example. Maybe you're not happy in your current relationship, But maybe you are afraid of facing that fact because maybe you're scared that you'll never find anybody else. So basically, you're lying to yourself, settling for something that's not good for you, and that actually stops you from meeting the right person. What it would be like to be courageous and just say, you know what, I am in a crappy relationship, I'm not happy, and I'm going to let this go, and I'm going to focus on what I want. Or perhaps you want a relationship with this person that you're with, but you want it to be better. So you don't deny the fact that it is not giving you what you need, but instead you start working on those things that are going to make you feel good, that are going to meet those needs, if possible, with the person that you're with. And if that's not possible, then you will have to move on. Okay, tip number 9, where do you want to go? You know, if you don't know where you want to go, you're just like lost in the woods and not getting anywhere at all. It's a little bit like being in a car out of control versus having a car with GPS, or driving around in circles rather than having a map and actually getting somewhere. And if you don't know what you want, you may want to watch one of my older videos about that called What If I Don't Know What I Want, and other videos that I shall be putting out about that subject. One technique to find out what you want is to ask yourself, if I imagine it's a year from now or 5 years from now, and I'm looking back, what have I achieved? What has changed in my life? What have I created? So ask yourself that question now. What is it? Finally, the last tip is, why do you want it? Why do you want it? And this question is about moving away from the head to the heart. You know, keep on asking yourself the question, why do I want it? Sometimes we think we want something, but then we don't really want it. We want it because we think we have to, we should. Our parents want us to, but do we really want it? What's really behind it? You know, you may think, oh, I want to be the best engineer there ever was. Why do you want that? Because I want to make my father proud. Right. So if your father wasn't in the picture, would you still want to do it? No. Maybe you don't want to do it. You are saying that you want to do it because that's what's expected of you. Even questions that seemingly seem, pretty straightforward can really lead down a much deeper path of self-discovery. So for example, I want to lose weight. Okay, you want to lose weight. Why? Because I want to be attractive. Why? Because I want to attract a partner. Why? Because I want to get married and have a family. Why? Because I've always wanted to be a mother. Why? Because I didn't, my mother left when I was 5 and I really wish that I could have her love. So you see, you get from I lose weight to actually what I want, what I'm searching for is this bond that I've lost a long time ago. But what I'm trying to say is that there are deeper reasons. You got to really dig a little bit deeper because you want to know that what you want it for the right reasons. You want it because your heart really wants it. It's not just your head. It's not just what other people want from you. So these are the 10 tips for having that right mindset. And, what really makes us get to the next level is the opportunity, the knowledge, and then the action. You've got to really put yourself in that position where you're not just contemplating change, but you're actually putting it into action. So, thank you for listening and hope this was helpful to you. Please do leave me a comment or any questions. I'll try to answer as best as I can and see you next time.